And you can't define woman, I mean person who menstruates. You're the teachers' union education party, and you've turned schools and colleges into a joke. Okay, and finally, new rule. Someone must tell the usual suspects on the far left that this.
Picture this. Two titans from entirely different realms. Hollywood's beloved George Clooney and the fearless commentator Bill Maher collide in a fiery clash that has left everyone talking. Clooney, known for his suave charm and humanitarian efforts, took a bold leap into political advocacy, but what started as an attempt to inspire voters quickly unraveled into a debacle, drawing sharp criticism from Maher, a man famous for his no-holds-barred opinions. This unexpected confrontation has ignited debates about celebrity influence, political activism, and the fine line between good intentions and missteps. So what really happened, and what does it all mean? Stick around, because we're about to dive into a story that's as riveting as it is thought-provoking. It all started with George Clooney stepping into the political spotlight with an ambitious ad campaign aimed at rallying voters. Clooney, often seen as the epitome of Hollywood sophistication, used his charisma and star power to craft a message he believed would resonate with the public. The ad portrayed voting as a sacred and almost mystical act, a dramatic comparison to keep viewers engaged. Clooney hoped his polished delivery and heartfelt appeal would inspire civic duty. However, the reception was far from what he anticipated. Critics and viewers alike were left unimpressed, calling the ad patronizing and disconnected from the everyday struggles of ordinary people. Instead of sparking motivation, the campaign was viewed as elitist, with Clooney seemingly talking down to his audience rather than connecting with them. Headlines labeled the ad as out of touch, turning what was meant to be a rallying cry into a PR misstep that set the stage for Bill Maher's cutting response. The fallout from George Clooney's political ad was swift and brutal. What was meant to inspire turned into a lightning rod for criticism. Viewers called out the tone of the campaign, labeling it condescending and completely misaligned with the realities of everyday voters. Instead of feeling motivated, audiences felt alienated, as though Clooney's message came from a place of privilege rather than genuine understanding. The media wasted no time amplifying the backlash. Headlines branded the ad as elitist and tone-deaf, with commentators dissecting every misstep. Social media erupted with memes and critiques, with many pointing out the stark contrast between Clooney's luxurious lifestyle and his attempt to connect with the average voter. It wasn't just the public who took issue. Political analysts weighed in, highlighting how celebrity-led campaigns often miss the mark by focusing on spectacle over substance. Clooney's well-intentioned ad became a case study in how not to engage with the electorate, paving the way for Bill Maher's infamous takedown. Enter Bill Maher, the sharp-tongued commentator known for holding nothing back. When Clooney's political ad became the talk of the town for all the wrong reasons, Maher saw an opportunity he couldn't resist. On his show Real Time, Maher unleashed a scathing critique of Clooney's attempt at political activism, turning what was already a PR disaster into a comedic spectacle. Maher didn't just criticize the ad, he tore it apart with his signature blend of wit and brutal honesty. He mocked Clooney's attempt to frame voting as some mystical Vegas-style experience, sarcastically quipping, "Does he think he's selling a vacation package?" Maher pointed out how the ad epitomized the disconnect between Hollywood elites and the struggles of everyday Americans. He accused Clooney of leveraging star power instead of substance, highlighting how the ad failed to resonate because it lacked authenticity. The audience ate it up, laughing and applauding as Maher delivered jab after jab. His takedown wasn't just a critique of Clooney, but of a broader trend in Hollywood. Celebrities assuming their fame automatically qualifies them to speak for the masses. Maher's roast was more than comedy. It was a wake-up call for stars like Clooney to rethink how they engage with the public on serious issues. While Clooney was entertaining, it also highlighted a much larger issue: the growing tension between celebrity activism and genuine political engagement. Clooney's ad mishap wasn't just a misstep in marketing, it was a perfect illustration of how celebrity influence in politics often misses the mark. Maher's critique wasn't limited to just Clooney, it was a direct shot at the entire culture of celebrity-led activism, where stars use their platform to push political messages without fully understanding or engaging with the issues they're promoting. Hollywood elites, accustomed to being idolized for their on-screen personas, often forget that their fame doesn't automatically grant them political insight. In fact, it can sometimes alienate the very people they're trying to reach. The backlash against Clooney's ad sparked a conversation about the authenticity of celebrity activism. Is it really about making a difference? Or is it more about virtue signaling and boosting personal brands? Maher's comments pushed the narrative further, calling out the superficial nature of celebrity political involvement. He argued that when celebrities try to speak on behalf of the masses, they risk coming across as out of touch, turning genuine political discourse into a performative spectacle. The real question now is, are celebrities actually contributing to important conversations, or are they simply using politics as another stage for their performances? Maher's roast illuminated these critical issues and forced viewers to confront the uncomfortable reality of celebrity influence in politics. In the aftermath of the disastrous political ad and the public roasting by Bill Maher, George Clooney found himself at the center of a media storm. The backlash was intense, and it didn't take long for Clooney to realize that his attempt to inspire civic engagement had backfired in a big way. His political ad, once seen as a heartfelt plea to the public, was now synonymous with elitism, condescension, and a glaring lack of awareness about the real struggles of the average voter. Determined to salvage his reputation and regain some of the goodwill he had built over the years with his humanitarian efforts, Clooney quickly shifted gears. His team went into full damage control mode, hoping to contain the fallout and restore his image. The first step, Clooney himself took to the media, launching a public campaign aimed at softening the blow. In interviews, he acknowledged the criticism and attempted to show humility. He admitted that the ad didn't land as intended and expressed regret over how it was received. Clooney made it clear that his intentions had always been good, but perhaps the execution had been off the mark. However, the real turning point came when Clooney's team proposed a high-profile move, an appearance on Bill Maher's Real Time. It was clear that Clooney was hoping for an opportunity to turn things around, to show that he was capable of self-reflection and could admit his mistakes in a public setting. After all, Real Time was one of the most watched political commentary shows, and an appearance on Maher's platform could be a golden opportunity to repair his public image. But Maher wasn't having it. According to insiders, Clooney's team reached out with a pitch for an honest, candid conversation where Clooney could address the ad's failure and potentially gain some redemption. However, Maher's response was a firm no. He made it abundantly clear that Real Time wasn't a platform for celebrity image rehabilitation. Maher, known for his unflinching honesty, didn't want to turn his show into a safe space for a Hollywood star to clear his name. His refusal to host Clooney was a powerful statement in itself, reinforcing his belief that celebrity culture and politics shouldn't mix in such a superficial way. This public rejection by Maher was a bitter pill for Clooney to swallow. He had hoped to use the appearance as a way to reframe the narrative and show his audience a more grounded, self-aware version of himself. Instead, he was forced to reckon with the idea that his reputation wouldn't be easily repaired. Maher's refusal to give him a platform underscored a larger truth. The public wasn't interested in celebrity apologies. They wanted authenticity. In an attempt to further salvage his standing, Clooney went on a media blitz, participating in several interviews where he tried to distance himself from the ad disaster. He spoke more directly about his intentions behind the ad, emphasizing that his goal was always to inspire positive change and encourage political participation. But despite his best efforts, the damage had already been done. Clooney's public perception had taken a hit, and his attempts at damage control felt, at best, like a band-aid on a much deeper wound. As time went on, Clooney began to shift his focus away from politics, realizing that continuing to push his political agenda could further alienate him from his audience. He withdrew from the spotlight for a while, redirecting his energies into smaller, more independent projects that allowed him to rebuild his credibility without the looming pressure of political involvement. His work in humanitarian efforts, which had initially made him a beloved figure, became his primary focus once again, and he tried to stay clear of any further public political stances. But even as he tried to rebuild, the specter of his failed political ad remained. The entire debacle served as a cautionary tale, not just for Clooney, but for any other celebrity considering using their fame to influence politics. It was a stark reminder that celebrity influence doesn't always translate into political wisdom, and attempting to sway public opinion without a genuine connection to the issues at hand can backfire in dramatic ways.